Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first episode of Overtime, presented by the World of Football. This is bonus football coverage that we're dishing out and focusing solely on a single topic. This week, we'll be listing our top 10 cities that deserve an arena football franchise. I'm your host, Randy Snow, and across the table from me, as always, is my son, Adam.
Hi, I'm very excited about today's topic.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing something like this for a long time.
Yeah.
And
So,
here it is.
Finally giving it a shot.
Yep. We come to you from the World of Football Man Cave, located right here in the center of the football world. That's Kalamazoo, Michigan. Before we get into our list, let's take a quick look at where the AFL is now. As the 2019 season wraps up, the league has 6 teams, mostly based on the East Coast: the Albany Empire, Philadelphia Soul, Atlantic City Blackjacks, Baltimore Brigade, Washington Valor, and then there's one team that's farther west than anybody else, and that's the Columbus Destroyers.
That's right. When you look at it on a map like this, it's so funny just to see how
Everybody's
centralized there in that East Coast.
Yeah.
Then you got Columbus.
Yep.
And then just wide open spaces all
Yep.
out there to the north and to the south. And I guess our goal today is to give our picks for 10 cities that, hey, could grow this list a little bigger.
A lot of room for expansion on that map, and let's get into it.
Well, starting at number 10, we have Boston, Massachusetts. This was one that is a no-brainer. It's a heck of a sports town already,
Sure.
obviously with the New England Patriots.
Right.
You know, they've had the Red Sox winning championships there. So Boston was almost a no-brainer for me. It's a good sports town. And then recently, I mean, you always have the Celtics in contention in the NBA. And then in the NHL, you just had the Bruins and another Stanley Cup. And just seeing how many people turned out for that Stanley Cup Game 7 in Boston made me go, you know what? That arena there, the TD Garden, where both the Celtics and the Bruins play, would be perfect for an arena football franchise.
Yep.
The capacity of the arena is 19,590. Give or take, obviously they adjust it based on what kind of events they're holding, but I think that's max capacity.
Sure. Almost 20,000 people.
Almost 20,000 people, which is almost normal, about the cap of what a lot of arenas have anyway.
Sure.
So I think it'd be perfect. And with Boston, like I said, being a very big sports town, this is a great choice to put in arena football market, and you keep it on that East Coast. So you're not expanding out too far, but you're at least getting a really big name city involved in the arena football family.
And Boston's right there in the middle of that whole Washington, D.C.,
Right.
Philadelphia, that whole region in there, Baltimore.
You'd get
It just makes sense.
instant rivalry, instant interest, I think, already
Okay.
being in that region.
All right. All right, so who do we have at our number 9 pick?
All right, at number 9, we went with Orlando, Florida, which is interesting because Orlando technically had an arena football team not that long ago, but they are currently playing in another league, which we'll
Right.
get to in a second. But in Orlando, Florida, they've obviously had a team for a long time. The Orlando Predators, they played from 91 to about 2016. One of the flagship teams for the Arena League for years. They were in several Arena Bowls, won several Arena Bowls, and they were always, one of the hot teams or one of the most talked about teams in the league. And the arena we're looking at proposing for our list, the Amway Center, 2,000 seat capacity.
20,000 seat capacity.
20,000. My bad. I can't even read the notes I put together. But the Amway Center is currently home to the Orlando Magic, the NBA, the Orlando Solar Bears
Love that
for
name.
the ECHL, the hockey league,
Right.
and then the Orlando Predators currently play there, but in the National Arena League.
Right.
So this is the tricky situation. You want them to expand there, but they already have the Orlando Predators there.
That's true.
So would they have to just poach them or have the Predators move over to the Arena Football League?
Yeah.
That's the big question, but it was always it's a vital city, and
It has a great history.
great history
in the
and
Arena
to
Football
bring it
League.
back into the Arena Football League would be great.
Yes. It would be great if they could bring the Orlando Predators name back. They might have to call them something else.
That's true.
If they're going to, if the Orlando Predators, who are playing in the National Arena League, continue to play, they had a pretty bad season this last year.
Yeah.
But, I would love to see the Orlando Predators themselves back in the Arena Football League. But regardless, the city of Orlando has always been a great Arena Football League city. And, they definitely need to get a team back.
Yep, that'd be one heck of an achievement if the Arena Football League could pull that off.
Yep.
All right, so how about we move on to number 8? And do you want to introduce our number 8 selection?
Yes, a team or a city that is very near and dear to our hearts, only an hour away from us, Grand Rapids, Michigan. The Van Andel Arena, when they did have a team, the Grand Rapids Rampage, it was the smallest arena in the Arena Football League.
And it would be the smallest arena of
Again.
our selections right now.
Right. A little under 11,000 seating capacity. They were kind of known as the Green Bay of the Arena Football League. A small city, but the fan base was fantastic.
Yep.
We were season ticket holders there in Grand Rapids for many years and went to many games. So, won an Arena Bowl championship there in Grand Rapids with the Rampage in 2001. And it was just a great atmosphere. So this is probably more of an emotional pick for us than anything else. Just having a team back in Grand Rapids, but when it was in its heyday, it was great.
It was great, and you look at the attendance numbers for a lot of the league right now. That's pretty much what Grand Rapids would pull in on a nightly basis whenever they would have a game.
Yeah.
And at that point, I mean, shoot. We're only going to be trying to fill out a 10,000, 11,000 seat arena, while these other ones are trying to fill out 20,000 seat arenas.
Sure.
So, I mean, I think that from a ticket selling standpoint, I mean, you'd get a higher percentage of, hey, look, we sold this percentage of the seats in this particular arena. And I think having a smaller capacity like that would actually be a benefit to the Arena League as it continues to grow.
Okay, moving on to number 7. Who showed up at number 7 on our list?
All right, so at number 7 on our list, I like this pick, Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah.
Seems like a no-brainer. Chicago, again, another great sports city. We're looking at the United Center, which holds 23,500 people. Currently the home of the Chicago Bulls and the Blackhawks, I believe. I have to double-check on that because I screwed up my notes, per usual. But I mean, Chicago is not a stranger to the Arena Football League. They've had 2 different franchises over the years.
You really don't think of Chicago being as far west as you can go, but
But I think for the Arena League right now and their expansion plan,
now,
I think this is the perfect furthest point they should go.
Sure.
As of right now, at least.
And Chicago was one of the. I mean, this is where the test games were played.
Yeah.
When the Chicago Bruisers.
There's a lot of history here for the AFL.
Chicago Bruisers, and I forget the other team that they played for the test game. And they held a couple of games there.
Right.
And then they actually had the Chicago Bruisers for a couple of years after 1987 when the league was formed, and then the Chicago Rush played there from 2001 to 2013. So great history in Chicago for arena football. And
Arena Bowls with the Rush. I think they had 2 or 3 Arena Bowls, maybe 2 Arena Bowls for the Rush.
Yeah, I don't have that right in front of me, but Chicago would be a great town for another arena football team. I think they need one again.
Yeah,
or deserve one, I should say.
Yeah, they do. Underline
deserve one.
All right, how about number 6?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, but right here we have the State Farm Arena, fantastic looking. It is home to the Atlanta Hawks of the NBA and the Atlanta Dream of the WNBA. Used to have the Atlanta Thrashers where they were in the NHL. And they were home to former Arena Football League team, the Georgia Force.
And the Georgia Force was a great team, too.
Yes, they were. They haven't really gone back there for any arena football. And shoot, you got this nice fancy arena. Why not stick an arena team in there as well?
Absolutely. Yep. Atlanta, number 6 on our list.
All right. That takes us to number 5, but for this one, we're going to be going north of the border. That's right, our only team that is outside of the United States on our list, or city rather, Toronto, Ontario. You have the Scotiabank Arena, which holds 19,800 people and is home to the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Toronto Raptors, and the Toronto Rock, which is apparently a National Lacrosse League team. So a lot of diversity there, and Toronto is obviously after the NBA championship has become a very big sports.
Yeah, they're a hot city when it comes to sports.
They're hot right now, and I think you got to strike while the iron's hot. And I think if the Arena League could put a team in Toronto, I mean, shoot, you already got the Maple Leafs who are always big there. You got the Raptors, obviously, who are on top of the world. Despite losing their best player. But, I mean, people are still going to talk about him.
Sure.
And I think in that same arena, you get a similar ownership group. I know the league technically owns all the teams, but you could form some sort of partnership with them, and you could have a great team in Canada, which would also further your brand to another country,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is what you want as the Arena League as it continues to grow.
That's right. Yeah, it might lead to other cities in Canada wanting Arena Football League
That
teams.
I would not be opposed to.
No, and they're no stranger to the Arena Football League. They had the Toronto Phantoms there for 2 seasons, 2001 and 2002.
All right.
Who is number 4?
Number 4, we have the Tampa, Florida as our next pick.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the Amalie Arena is the top choice, 20,500 capacity there. Home of the Tampa Bay Lightning of the NHL and former home to the Tampa Bay Storm. And the Storm was one of those marquee franchises,
Yes.
literally around from the beginning up until 2017 when they finally folded.
Yeah, starting in 1991 to 2017.
Well, that's when they were the Storm. They were formerly the Pittsburgh Gladiators, moved
Right. Yeah,
to
moved there.
Tampa. And, I mean, to lose a historic franchise like that just a mere couple of years ago at this point,
Yeah.
I want them back. Bring them back and get them into the league. They always deserve a home in the Arena Football League.
All right, who is at number 3 on our list?
At number 3, we're going just a little further north of Orlando. We're going to Nashville, Tennessee. Bridgestone Arena would be a great location for a team. 20,000 people. Currently the home of the Nashville Predators of the NHL, and the Predators who have been on an upswing the last few years. Obviously, they haven't won a Stanley Cup. They played in one,
Right.
but I think that city of Nashville has embraced that hockey team, and they used to have an arena football franchise, the Nashville Cats, who were around from 97 to 2001. They folded then. Actually, they moved to become the Georgia Force for a little bit, but then they brought a brand new franchise back and still called them the Cats from 2005 to 2007.
Okay.
But Nashville is another good sports town, another just state that loves football. You got the Volunteers, obviously, and then you got the Titans who play in Tennessee,
Right.
and a lot of other colleges around there. Football is big, and I would love to see the Cats return.
See, all right, who is at number 2 on our list?
All right, number 2, we're coming home. We're coming to the great state of Michigan again for Detroit, Michigan. Now, hear us out, everybody. We're not trying to be homers, so let's justify our pick.
Okay.
And by justifying it, they got a brand new arena in the Little Caesars Arena, which just opened up last year.
Yep.
You got 22,000 seat capacity.
That's right about the size for an arena football
Right
team.
about the size for the Arena Football League. It is home to the Detroit Red Wings and the Detroit Pistons, and they currently they had 2 former Detroit teams in the past, not in this arena obviously, but in the city of Detroit. Had the Detroit Drive, who played from 88 to 93. They won several Arena Bowls, played in Arena Bowls their entire
They were in the
existence.
Arena Bowl every year they were in existence. So 6 appearances, and they won 4 of them.
Yep. But our number 1 pick is Cleveland, Ohio.
Yep.
Rocket Mortgage Arena, formerly the Quicken Loans Arena, just underwent some construction recently.
For the last 2 years.
Last 2 years, hence why the Cleveland Gladiators have not been in the Arena Football League. And there's been talk that they're supposed to come back, so this might be a little bit of a unfair pick because, they said they were coming back. Like, why would you make them number 1 if you already knew that they were coming back?
We have been to many teams in Cleveland, and we know how the fans there love that team. Well, we've seen it work down there. They hosted an Arena Bowl in Cleveland. They need to have their team back. Well, that's our list. So
So here is our top 10 on the map. So I think like the furthest west we go is Chicago, but everything is pretty centralized. I mean, picks 10, 5, 1, 2, 8, and 7. All right there, kind of in that
Northeast
Midwest
corner of the country.
Northeast region.
Yep.
And the furthest south we go is Orlando and Tampa Bay,
Yep.
which isn't that much of a stretch. If you got both of them back, guess what? Another instant rivalry, and just you're going to save on travel costs because you got 2 teams in a close proximity with one another.
Atlanta and Nashville filling out the southern region down there.
Yeah, I don't think that's a stretch at all.
No.
So, and that's it for our top 10 cities that deserve an arena football franchise overall.
All right. Well, I think you did a good job.
I think it was a good,
together.
I think we both had very unique individual lists, and then when we combined them, we got an even more unique list.
Yep. Well, that's it for this episode of Overtime. You can visit our website at theworldoffootball.com for news, links, upcoming events, videos, and more. Our email address is info@theworldoffootball.com.
You can also like the World of Football on Facebook at TWOF Kalamazoo, where we post a lot of unique stories, pictures, and highlights from all over the world of football. You can also follow us on Twitter. The address there is at TWOF Kalamazoo. Thanks to those of you who clicked on this video. We hope you enjoy our first venture into the YouTube sphere. And we would also like to let you know that if you are enjoying this, you can also enjoy an extended and uncut version of the show on one of our many audio platforms: SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio is where you can find that. So please subscribe, rate, review, let us know what you think. And then new episodes of our regular podcast this week in the world of football are posted every Tuesday. They include current events and other football happenings given to you in a nice, digestible package every week.
All right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off
You're
there.
good.
But yeah, join us again soon for more fascinating topics from the world of football. Until then, I'm Randy Snow.
And I'm Adam Snow.